As geopolitical issues and tariff tensions continue to dominate discourse in the public space, the conversation becomes how to save the local automotive industry. Of course, we know that the vehicles that are imported, some of them semi-knocked down, some of them imported just as they are, they continue to put local manufacturers in a position where they're trying to save jobs as well as to secure investment. Now, somebody who knows a lot more about that than I do is the CEO of Isuzu, Mr. Billy Tom, and I'm just going to bring him in right now. Mr. Tom, thank you so much for your time, sir. Let us begin with the tariff debate. Lots that is being said about it. Some are calling for an increase on tariffs. With your hat, of course, as the former NAMSA president, what are your thoughts on this issue, sir?
I think the tariffs are not a long-term solutions. I mean, all they do is they make the cost of doing business a lot higher. I think in South Africa there's been a lot of debates around that, that do we increase tariffs? All that it's going to do is going to make it expensive for consumers. But I think what we need to do is to look at the industry. How do we support the industry? How do we create a climate where people are attracted to doing business in South Africa? There is a big opportunity of doing business in South Africa. Currently, as we speak, we are 7 OEMs. To me, how we get around some of these things is, instead of having 7 OEMs only, how do we move that number to 10 OEMs? How do we move it to 15? Then make vehicles in South Africa. Because we are in a good position. I mean, we've been manufacturing cars for 100 years in South Africa. And why not set ourselves up to manufacture cars for the continent, where we get some of the vehicles imported, manufactured in South Africa, and then sold into the rest of the continent? That's where the big opportunity for us lies. I think tariffs, I mean, we are almost like blocking people coming in. To me, I'd rather look at a longer-term view where we create more jobs in South Africa, but also become more competitive. How can government work with the private sector to make the industry even more competitive, ensure that we protect the jobs we have? Because we can put the tariffs, but the tariffs are not going to create jobs for South Africa. And to us, the biggest challenge is creating jobs. I mean, even ourselves, I mean, we've looked at our business and we've found opportunities, and so far we're doing well.
Mr. Tom, of course, Isuzu has positioned yourselves as a local manufacturer that is focused on the African markets, as well as focused on localization. So talk to us about that. How do you ensure that you remain sustainable in those two areas?
Isuzu is the second biggest LCV hub in the world. The flagship hub is Thailand, and then we are number 2. But we also don't want to be a weak number 2. So we've done a lot of work in terms of eliminating waste, becoming competitive. And you don't just becoming competitive by doing your own thing. We've gone around the world and benchmarked and look at what are some of the best practices. And then what we've done is we've looked at the continent. We are an African business. With the geopolitics, I don't foresee bigger contracts happening. I think there's going to be a lot of regionalism that's happening. And for us, we are focusing on Africa. We sell to 30 markets around the African continents. We still have an opportunity to increase that number. And what we've been doing has been ensuring that what we produce are solutions for the African market, not only for South Africa. We see ourselves geared for that. What have we done? We've invested in capacity. We've invested in localization, because localization, one, I mean, it's the right thing to do because you employ locally, but 2, with the volatility in supply chain we've seen in the last few years, we've learned. I mean, the prices are volatile, the reliability is volatile, and when you localize, you buy yourself an insurance against that, and it has worked wonders. I mean, you would have seen today there's a facility that we've put up for $750 million. That facility will ensure that the panels we are producing are made 500 meters away from the plant instead of 2,000 kilometers away. Those are the things that make us more competitive. And working with government around the harbors, we will be able to get the product to around the African continent.